Thank you for joining us. Today, we are back with Julio Almanza. The conversation today might be a little controversial. Some of you may have your own opinions. Today, we're going to discuss his gun rights. They were originally removed from the prior convictions, but he is set on getting his rights back. Hi, Julio. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So today, we are having a different conversation.
Yes, we are.
To recap, I think some of our viewers, in case they didn't see a previous episode, you survived being part of the cartel, going to multiple prisons, and spending 17 years in prisons and jails. Now, you've changed your life completely. You do a lot of work, you help the community, and you help people who are still incarcerated and those who are transitioning back out. Of all the work you're getting done in the community, the recognition, you're a guest speaker, you're an inspirational speaker, you travel around the country to speak with a lot of jails, you do motivation, but you still have pending issues for yourself. Today, you want to discuss your gun rights.
Yes.
You want your gun rights back.
I do.
So I'm going to go through because you have a lot of criminal convictions. So you are a convicted felon. And a lot of those convictions are gun crimes.
Yes, they are.
So some of them you got probation for at the beginning. And then you got a few months. Then some of them you got a year and you served less time and so forth. So every time you got in trouble, the consequences got higher and higher.
Yes.
And most of these cases are from Chicago, Illinois.
Yes.
But at one point, you also got charged in Mexico.
Yes.
So you have convictions in the United States and in Mexico for felonies.
Yes.
Now, you live in Arizona, and Arizona laws and rules are completely different. But in spite of all that, you are set that you want to work towards getting your gun rights back.
Yes.
So why do you have so many priors that are involving weapons?
I mean, I I grew up on the south side of Chicago, and it's a very dangerous city. It's a dog-eat-dog city, pretty much. And I always tell people, I look bad on paper, yeah, because it's so many like shooting cases and all that stuff. But I was just a kid trying to survive in a world where like it didn't matter if you were 12, 13, 16. Like, you got killed on the streets. You got gunned down.
And you were very young when you first joined, right?
Yes. I mean, I bought my first gun at 11 years old.
And you bought it off the
streets for $75.
And why did you feel that you needed a gun at 11 years old?
I was already getting involved with gangs, and I was a very, very scared kid, man. I had already been through so much. I didn't want to take a chance no more. Like, I wanted to hurt anybody that even came close to trying to hurt me. Like, I was out for blood.
You wanted to protect yourself.
Yeah.
And you didn't have any adults protecting you.
No.
So you had to figure out at 11 years old how you would stay alive.
I tell people all the time, like, what 11-year-old kid is cutting grass all summer to save up to buy a gun?
That is the hard truth. that happens.
And I know that I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
You know, I know there's others just like me, and it's why like there's two things that I really want back. I want to vote again one day, and I want my gun rights back.
And some of these gun convictions are not convictions because you happen to carry a weapon. Some of them are actually from cases where a gun was discharged.
Yes, all my cases actually are unlawful use of a weapon. I was taught that if you pull it out, you have to use it. So
Some people say that.
every time I pulled it out, I used it, and I just got braver and braver with time. And I say braver just because it got easier to just start shooting. And Chicago's always been like that. You know, it's Al Capone City. They've been having drive-bys and shootings since a long time ago. So I believe it's embedded in the culture. I could tell you stories of us, group of kids getting together on every Friday night to go shoot at somebody.
Was it just random people or people that you needed to settle things with?
It was gang stuff, you know. But the city, 80% of murders over there go unsolved. It's a high rate.
That is shocking.
That is a high rate. And I've looked at the numbers. I couldn't believe it when I first looked at them. And I was like, and it's because of the gun violence, you know. And people ask me, why do you want your rights back? The reason why I want my rights back, it's not to make myself feel better or anything. It's just that I believe that the world's getting darker. And if there's someone to be able to stand watch, I feel that, I don't know, I feel that I deserve that chance.
So usually when there is an application to restore gun rights, and I don't know Illinois law, I only practice law here in Arizona. For those of you who don't know, I'm a criminal defense attorney here in Arizona. So in Arizona, when you apply to get your gun rights, the judge is going to look at the priors, but the judge is also going to look at who you are today. Do you feel that you're different now that you were from that 11-year-old child when you first got your weapon?
Yeah, I mean, it's night and day who I've become because, I mean, like I always tell people, like when I went to prison, I realized that I didn't have a lot of things. I didn't have structure. I didn't have a lot of things. And when I went to prison, I learned a lot of those things. And now that I guess you could say I'm 49 years old, I see life completely different. I see how much one person can actually do if they stop talking and actually do the work. I see it now because of all the prisons I go to, just everything. I used to believe that one person couldn't make a difference. I was wrong. One person can make a huge difference.
What made a difference in your life? Is there a person that made a difference in your life?
Well, like I was telling the guys yesterday on the prison Zoom, like I had to hang around with different people to realize that there's something different out there. I started hanging around with people that were educated in prison because there's people that are educated in prison.
Yeah, there are.
You know, and I started hanging around with different kind of people. Even in there, little by little, I started learning that not everybody was the same as me. And that's when I told people, you know, my identity was violence. I got raped as a kid. I got tortured as a kid, being drowned like that. My identity turned into violence, and what better tool to accommodate that violence is a gun.
Yeah.
I became a good gang member because I wasn't afraid to go to jail. I wasn't afraid to use my gun. but it was because I was so broken that I was fighting for something I didn't even know.
Yeah, because as a child, because you were a child, did you understand what a gang was or what it meant to join this group?
No, I just knew that it was something that I was searching for because I didn't have it at home. You know, even right now, talking to Ken and telling him that that I love him because, like, no, I never had that father figure in my life, and he's turned into that. You know, he took me to get fitted with my first suit. He took me to get fitted for my boots, my hat. Um, he's turned into that for me. And just saying thank you to him, it was so hard for me. That's why I did it in front of everybody.
It's a big step for you.
Yeah.
And sometimes when we don't have something at home, we seek it outside our home.
Yep.
And did the gang provide you a sense of safety?
Yeah. You know, it's I call it fake love. You know, it was there as long as you produced, as long as you were a good gang member, like as long as you did shootouts, as long as you were down to fight, as long as you were representing. Yeah, you were loved, respected, and all that. But it's all fake. It's all fake because at the end of the day, my own gang was the one that tried to set me up, kill me. I mean, I had to even I had to get out of that gang and turn to another gang that were our enemies, our sworn enemies, our whole lives for me to survive. And it was the same thing. You know, the gun is what kept me alive. It was my tool.
When you got in trouble the first time, was the gang there for you? When you got in trouble with the law, the first one where you got probation for 2 years, were they're supportive of you during the criminal process?
You know, it's kind of like a reverse psychology thing because like you get to the jail and they receive you with open arms.
Who's
and like
they?
The gang, the organization. And in Chicago, the gangs are very, very structured and organized. They're not just taggers. They're not just guys that are getting high.
They're serious.
They're serious. So you get to the jail and there's about 20 of your guys already there waiting for you. They got your shoes, they got your socks, they got all your stuff. They're going to take care of you while you're there because they need numbers.
Safety in numbers.
Yes. So, you know, the love is going to be there, but it's not real. It's not real. At the end of the day, like I tell a lot of these young kids, you spent your whole life killing each other, and then when you go to prison, you have to sit with each other.
That's profound.
And it was one of the very first questions I asked as a young kid going in there at 16. I couldn't comprehend why we were spending all our time killing each other. And then when we got to jail, we had to sit next to each other and be friends.
How did you deal with that?
I mean,
did it feel scary that you were in such a close proximity with people you considered enemies?
It was a little weird for me because when I got to the prison as a young man, very young man, one of the very heavy Latin kings, Cadillac Joe, I'll never forget his name, took me under his wing. And he was like an enemy to me. And I was a young kid. But he took me under his wing and showed me the in and outs of state prison in Illinois. And I felt different after that. That's what made me think that this wasn't right. Because how can an enemy take me, feed me, teach me?
Yeah.
Every time I needed coffee, he told me to go ask him, not ask nobody else. Because jail, people don't realize, and they just know what they watch on TV, but jail is a very dark place. It's just that people never experience. And I'm pretty sure you've heard stories. You know, people do get raped. People do get stabbed. People do get killed. People hang themselves. There's a lot of death in prison.
Yeah.
But people think that it's this place where we send criminals and they get better. Yeah, they get better at being criminals.
I was just going to ask you because when you first went to prison, they didn't have some of the programs that there are today.
No. Not even the halfway houses that they have today. They have like high tech stuff now. Nice places like that place off Peoria, New Freedom.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, like
It's like a mansion compared to your old ones. Yeah.
I mean, and they have all these CDL, personal training. They have all these skills now. And it's crazy because like I had to pay for my skills while I was in prison to come home with something.
What do you mean you had to pay? You didn't have money.
Well, I when I was doing my federal time in Florida, I convinced one of my uncles to pay for my personal training certificate. And at the time, the school was doing a prison mail certification. So he paid for it. It was like $1,000. He paid for it. I took the test while I was in prison, and I came home with that certificate. And honestly, I believe that certificate, me coming home with it, started something in me. Because I didn't just come home empty-handed. Like, what am I going to do? No, I came home and said, I'm going to be a personal trainer.
Do you think that skill moved you in a different path?
I believe it served its purpose because when I came home, I was full of rage. And at the moment, the gym and the rage kind of went together when I competed, when I had my fitness, like brand and supplements, all that stuff. Like, a lot of people don't know that I competed like statewide and nationally. Like, I broke records. But it was the rage that was breaking it. It wasn't.
You had to channel that.
Yeah. You know, and that's why I was telling him thank you, because of me making the transition to this place. I had to learn to be a businessman, not just to be, let's go, let's work out. Like, I had to learn different meetings, even different suits now.
How to capture that.
Yeah. You too. You're one of my mentors. I look at you, and I not want to be you, but I want the same work ethic, the same drive, the same, like, I don't know. I just kind of feel like you're power, like, moving.
Thank you. And a lot of people respect you in the community, and you are a leader in many ways. Do you think that everybody who has a criminal conviction should get their gun rights back?
No.
Why not?
I'm going to get a lot of hate mail on this one. And we were just talking about this. And I'm going to just speak on men, me.
Yes.
A lot of men don't grow up. They think that they do, but they don't. And it's a dangerous place to put a gun in someone's hand like that. And I say that because, like, when I came home from prison and I wasn't carrying guns, I wasn't trying to shoot people, I wasn't selling drugs, like, but I was doing other stuff that was against the law, like speeding, the stuff that I got convicted for.
Yeah.
To me, it was nothing because, it's not killing nobody, so it's nothing. But it's still something. And a person like me, guess what? It gets easier and easier, and that's why you graduate into those murder cases, stuff like that. So, no, not everybody, because not everybody will be mature enough to when. I'll give you an example. I have a neighbor.
Okay.
Military. Old guy. He's about 78.
Okay.
The other day, he was carrying and he was being a bully because he was showing everybody he had the gun, blah, blah, blah. Like, just the way he was carrying himself.
Was he intoxicated?
Yes. But because he feels that he was in the military, blah, it's like little factors, you know what I mean? And I had to talk to him, and I was like, hey, John, I was like, you know you're 80-something years old, so now your time to pull is not the same as before, and then you're intoxicated. And I just had to explain everything step by step. And he got it, but then it made him upset.
At himself or upset at you for bringing up the obvious?
I think it was a little bit of both, because I called him out on it. And I told him, especially you're wearing that flag. But it was just because I felt that I needed to do it, because people like that, they'll try to help, but they might shoot someone else because of the reaction time. It's not the same when you're a young man, you're an old man, just different things. Same thing with maturity, stuff like that. We see it all the time here with these young kids. They just had a case of road rage and they started shooting. It was young kids.
Yeah.
A lot has to do that with Arizona laws, obviously, because a lot of people are able to carry here at a very young age.
Yeah, which I find it very dangerous. I have a lot of clients who are juveniles, and juveniles charge as juveniles, but most of them charge as adults. Here in Arizona, after 15, you can get charged with adult crimes, even if you're a minor.
And that's crazy, because they're letting you have a gun.
Yeah.
I believe that in order to purchase a gun at a young age, there has to be like a emotional test or something, like something that shows your maturity or something.
But most kids that buy weapons, they don't buy them at the store. They don't wait until the appropriate age to go buy them. And now they buy them off stories that they see online of sellers, or DMs that they get from people who are just selling weapons. The influx of weapons that we have in Arizona is very large, very serious.
Well, I believe in Arizona, there's an addiction to weapons. There's people love their guns here, and they love new ones and old ones, and it's just like a way of life. I just like in Texas, like you see everybody carrying different kind of weapons.
Yeah, but it's dangerous.
It is.
Because you mentioned something earlier, like if you have a weapon, you have to be prepared to use it. And so then you talked about men's maturity, and
Yes.
I'm not trying to single out men here, but as a man, you understand that the level of maturity that men have is at a slower speed
Yes.
than females.
Especially if you're not trained, I have a lot of friends that are in the military, Navy SEAL, stuff like that. They're trained to, even cops, to when to use force, when not to. If your maturity level is very, very low, you're going to use force right away.
Yeah.
Especially if that's all you know. And that's why all these shootings with all these young kids, we're barely in the year and we already have, I think last time I checked, it was 8 juveniles already in this year for murder, a gun case.
I represent a few.
And it's crazy because look, guns are never going to stop, just like drugs are never going to stop.
Why do you say that, though? There have been other countries that have been successful in...
You've said it, other countries. The U.S. is very different. We have a very, I guess you could say, open mind about everything. So, it's never going to stop. The best thing is to educate the kids, there has to be a watchdog, like a sheepdog, there has to be someone that, because not everybody's a leader.
Yeah.
And not everybody should be a leader. There's bad leaders. I ran into that in every kind of prison, cartel, gangs. A good leader will teach you not to use it because it's used as a last resort.
Yeah.
I mean, even now, like I could tell my maturity level has exceeded like a lot of like I never thought I would be where I'm at right now, mature wise. Like I've surprised myself.
And then you realize that when you walked out of prison and you had a lot to catch up on.
A lot. A lot. You know, I know it's something simple for people out there to just sign that voucher and like vote and do stuff, you know. I want to feel like an American too, you know. I want to feel like I paid my debt to society. I want to feel like I could get my rights back. I mean.
So why do you feel that you need to have a weapon at this stage of your life if you get your rights restored?
We live in crazy times, and I believe that everybody should do their part. Everybody should be a watchdog.
What are we watching out for? Each other?
I mean, did I ever tell you the story about the lady getting beat up at the train rail when I first got out?
No.
There was a lady getting beat up for her phone. And I tell people I just reacted because I wanted to fight, not because I was a good guy. I reacted because I wanted to fight. It had been years since I had fought. And I ran towards them and I started beating up the guys. They were hitting that woman so bad, like, oh, I couldn't stand it. And nobody was doing nothing. Everybody was on their phone, standing around.
So there are other people watching.
Yeah, there was other people watching. And I just ran towards them. I started beating them up. Boom, they got away. I didn't get her phone. I apologized. She was like, don't worry about it. You're the only one that reacted. The cops got there. And when the cop asked me for my ID, I was so scared because I had just gotten out. And he's like, why are you shaking? I said, I shouldn't have police contact. I'm on probation. I should pass my curfew. And I'll never forget what that cop told me. Today, you're the good guy, Mr. Almanza.
Wow.
And that was the very first time that I call that my good guy story. Like that was the very first time I felt like a good guy. But
you didn't have that opportunity in your life, though.
No.
As a kid, you didn't have that role model in your life. You didn't have the structure. You didn't have the nurturing that you needed to be a child.
So.
And I think that happens to a lot of kids that, especially here in Arizona, they're looking for safety and they think that a gun is going to create safety.
Yeah.
And now we have kids bringing guns to school and or making online threats. And those are things that are very, very serious. Yeah. And we are at a point in our lives as a society in this country that we've seen a lot of gun violence. So gun topics are a little bit controversial right now.
Yeah.
So I imagine a lot of people are going to have reactions to your desire to get your gun rights back.
You know what would be my dream job right now?
What?
To be a cop.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me why.
To serve and protect my community.
Do you think you have the skills that it takes to be an
I'm way
officer?
past the skills. I think I exceed the skill.
But to be an officer, you have to have that composure, that temperament, just like you mentioned before, to know how and when to react.
Yes.
Do you think, to use your own words, have you matured enough to get to that point?
Yeah, I think I would do good until I bump into someone I don't like. I just played.
Please ignore the last statement. Yeah.
Nah, you know, I've learned that one of the biggest things that I've learned is to not judge a book by its cover, because I get judged all the time, and it would be like a blessing to be able to interact with different people. Obviously, you know, I do have a skill that I think I would be able to tell the difference between a criminal and a normal person. I shouldn't say normal, but a person. Because I see things that most people don't see, you know. And I asked my Navy SEAL friend if it ever went away, your spider senses, because after being in survival so long, I have a lot of senses that people don't have. I watch a lot of stuff that people don't watch.
Do you think that makes you be in constant high alert?
I used to be, and that's what we were talking about. I used to be in high constant alert because I was always hearing sounds, stuff like that. I've learned now to control it more, but I still see more than the normal.
Because your senses have developed to identify everything.
I've been waiting to spot cop cars since I was 11 years old. So think about it. By the time I'm 40, I'm a professional at spotting them. So it's just like sitting in a place and knowing who's sitting behind you, who's sitting next to you, who's in front of you. I mean,
that is probably never going to leave you, though.
No.
You're always going to know where the exits are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. You know, when we were in Houston, we were on the highway, and I saw the accident happen before it even happened. And I told people I was the only one to get away from that accident because I was looking ahead. And I don't think I ever want that to go away.
Yeah. Are you going to start your journey to get your gun rights restored?
I'm actually looking into a couple organizations in Chicago to start my expungement process. I have to expunge all of my DUIs here in Arizona too. So that's going to be a process because everything needs to be removed for them to even consider, giving my gun rights back.
So you have a long road ahead.
Yes.
So I'm going to circle back with you in a little while to see how is the expungement and restoration of your rights going.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need about a year because I got a lot of stuff I got to clean up.
Well, it's another journey,
yes,
right?
Yes.
This is going to be another journey.
Yes.
So I really appreciate you sharing about your desire to restore your gun rights and the reasons why. I think sometimes people don't understand where people are coming from, and you have shared a lot of information today that I think should resonate with people. Who should have a weapon? Should children have the protection that they need at home so they're not looking for external protection with some kind of device? And whether or not the judges in your cases think that you deserve another chance.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you for being here. Thank you, Julio.